Hi there, Dr. Onalee. Welcome to Module 1 of the Manifesting course. This is all around why it hasn't been working for you. One of the things I've come to realize in my own journey and working with thousands at this point is that we can make simple things really complex and complicated. Nowadays, there are a million ways to lose weight. Some people are going to swear don't eat carbs. Some people are going to swear count calories, count your macros. Some people are going to swear on ketosis. Everyone has something that they swear by, but have you noticed that what works for somebody else doesn't necessarily work for you or for a lot of other people? But that person who is sharing it with you, they have the best intentions. It's something that worked for them and maybe some of their clients or some people they shared with, but that does not mean it's the only way. There are a million ways to make $1 million. You could tell me right now to put out a $100,000 program and sell it to 10 people. Or you could sell a $10 program to 100,000 people. They're two very different products, very different services, two very different levels of responsibility and pressure. They're different, but do they both make you $1 million? Yes. Same thing with manifesting, with anything, with any area of your life. My intention with this is that you come back home to simplicity. So, even with the things that I'm sharing, it doesn't mean that this is exactly what works for you. But what I've come to know is that the more simple that you make it, in my opinion, the easier it's actually going to be. Just like with a recovery program, when you make it simple, you stop questioning it so much. You stop doubting it, making it hard, wondering all of this, and you just surrender to it. It starts to get easy. So, one of the things too I have come to learn on my manifesting journey is that when I try to go for really big things, because people say dream big, and I think it's beautiful and they mean well by it, it sometimes is harder for me to get behind. And if something is harder for me to get behind, I am then not in the right energy or feeling or frequency for it. That is then the opposite of manifesting. We are wanting to manifest, AKA literally just bring something from the unseen, a dream, a vision, a desire, a hope, and bring it into the scene. We want to see it here in the physical world. Doesn't matter what your religion or anything like that. I know the term can get a little bit crazy, but manifest literally just means bring something into physical form. We want this thing in physical form. We want our soulmate. We want to make $10,000 a month. We want that BMW. We want the Ferrari. We want to be able to donate to any charity or the one that we love and not have to feel like we can't or we're not able to. Why? Why do we want the soulmate? Why would I want to donate like that? Why would I want to make $10,000 a month? Why would I want a new house? Insert in whatever it is that you want, especially the thing that you're really frustrated about. The reason why you're here. It is because we want to feel a certain way. And we also want to feel inherently as humans, we want to know that we are tapped into the creative power, intelligence connected with our source. That is what we are all aiming for. We all call it something different, but we inherently want to know that we have a power that we can create, we can manifest, we can bring in. And what gets in the way is our comparison. And you know this, everything I'm saying, you ultimately know this to one degree or another. My job on this planet is to help articulate it in a way that is simple for you to easily understand and for it to lock in and click into place. Maybe in a way it hasn't been able to before. I'm not special. I don't know more than you. I have put more of this wisdom into practice. I have taught it to a lot of people, which helps me really master my craft. But inherently, you have wisdom, you have experiences, you have all the things. So let's just get that straight right now. But you know that comparison is the thief of joy. You've heard that. You know that. What it really is seeing, oh my gosh, well, that person manifested their soulmate and their soulmate is so hot and it was so easy and they were so much younger and now they have 4 kids. And it gets you into thinking, I'm not doing it right. It's not working for me. What does she have that I don't have? I tried everything and it seems like it was so freaking easy for her. That is how a lot of us operate when we are looking around at other people. What I've come to learn is that we are all growing different things and we've all planted seeds at different times. We also don't know that one person, if maybe they were abused when they were a child. Their own father repetitively beat them, sexually abused them, put cigarettes out on them. We don't know what kind of seeds they were planting in order to manifest their soulmate. We don't even know if their soulmate was what they even fully wanted and that's what they got, but really it was their career they've been wanting. You also might be planting an oak tree, a willow tree, but you're comparing your life to somebody who was planting carrots, cabbage, radishes. Your timing, and we hear this, we know this, is perfect. And it's going to be perfect in the way that you are going to be amazed. You are going to be wowed. It is going to make sense. You're going to see why you didn't manifest it sooner or earlier. We all will go through lessons of having to learn this patience, this timing. Some areas in your life, you might be a master manifester, you feel. You're really great with money. You're really great with your health and with your body, with your kids. Maybe manifesting your soulmate was easy for you. You didn't struggle with love. But with money, with your business, all of us on this planet, no matter how wealthy you are, no matter how hot you are, how rich you are, how good it looks like you have it, we all have something in our life that is challenging our faith. Something that is requiring us to lean towards a higher power, to put all of our faith in. It is what keeps us moving forward. It's what keeps us alive. So this challenge that you have, this feeling like this manifestation, this desire, this dream is taking for freaking ever. It is leading you. It is guiding you. It is building your faith. It is building your character. You are learning how to trust something, someone outside of yourself to guide you and to take over control. And this is the perfect thing that you've needed in your life to build that solid foundation. One thing I've come to learn of when it feels harder to manifest something, you're usually putting too much pressure on it. You need it. And without it, I'm not happy. I'm not okay. I'm not fulfilled. I'm not satisfied. If I had my soulmate, then of course I'd feel in love. Then of course my business would grow. If I had more money, of course I'd feel more peace. Of course I'd have more fun. Of course I'd relax. A lot of us on this planet, we are putting the cart before the horse. But one thing is we need to put the horse before the cart for it to move. And it's a lot about learning to be happy without the soulmate, peaceful without the money. Have you ever noticed how some people who are multimillionaires, billionaires, some of the wealthiest people on the planet were ones who lived in their car or were homeless? Why is that? How such a drastic change? Because when you can learn you're okay and learn how to feel real gratitude, peace, love, joy, when you don't have an outer circumstance that would give you a reason to feel that, that's when you're in your power and nobody can take that away from you. Because then, say, for example, you lived in a car and now you're a multimillionaire, you don't then have to fear, what if I lose it all? Because if you lost it all, you'd live in a car and you survived that and you learned how to feel real love and joy and gratitude in that. That's what happened to my mentor. So whatever situation you're in right now, no matter what it looks like, no matter how bad it is, how low it is serving you so that you don't give your power all away to the thing that you think is going to rescue or save you from this condition, circumstance, relationship, experience. When you can learn, I had to learn this. I sucked at paying rent. It did not matter if my rent was $400, $1,300, $2,700. The number didn't matter for me. I had the craziest pattern where I struggled so freaking hard to pay rent. I couldn't pay rent on time to save my life. I could pay all these other things and everything else, and I could make a ton of money, but I could not pay. It was the craziest pattern I had. But I had to learn something. I had to stop giving all of my power and dependency and put money on a pedestal. Because what would happen when I couldn't pay rent? I feel sick to my stomach. I'm anxious. I'm afraid. I'm freaking out. I'm trying to get money. I'm like this. Where's all my power then lie? My power would lie in then I will relax and chill out when the money comes and the rent is paid. I had to learn to do that part before the money came and the rent got paid. And let me tell you, it took me a long time and a lot of lessons to be in that kind of frequency and place and to understand that. And it also helped that I was helping other people learn how to do this too. Because that was a hard thing for me to do, to learn how to be happy and at peace, even when the money's not there and I can't pay the rent and now I'm afraid I'm getting evicted. It could seem irresponsible, right? You might be thinking that, or it might seem like, well, if I don't worry and I'm frantic, that doesn't seem okay to just be normal. What I've come to learn is that that doesn't mean that you disregard paying for your rent. You know you got to pay your rent. You know you got to handle this anyway. It's the energy, the feeling, and the frequency that you're doing it in. And actually, here's the counterintuitive part of it. When you drop worrying and frantic, freaking out energy, and you calm the heck down, solution comes, idea comes, energy to get on a video comes, to sell something comes, to pick up an extra shift comes. Think of it like a glass of water that has sticks and stones in it. It's dirty. You're not meant to drink it, but it's a dirty glass of water. If you swirl it all around, you can't see the other side. There's no clarity. But if you set it down and you give it a few minutes, it will all fall to the bottom. It will land and you'll be able to see clearly through it. It is the same thing with our thoughts, our mind, our energy, our emotions. And one of the reasons why you might not be manifesting when you're frantic and freaking out and you need the money doesn't come. It's not because you're inherently doing it wrong or something's wrong with you. It's actually, I've come to learn in my experience, my higher power doesn't validate that that's a way to manifest. So the money's not going to come from that energy because then it's going to continuously put me in a cycle of thinking that that kind of energy of doubt and lack and scarcity and making myself sick is the way that money or whatever manifestation I want is going to come. To me, it's actually very unloving of my creator to put a stamp of approval and say, yes, you know what? That worked, so do it again. Because then the next time that happens, you'll do it again. I've personally gotten my car repossessed. And I kid you not, the very next day, the exact payment I would have needed, the very next day, probably like 12 hours after this situation, the exact amount of money, the exact payment that, and a little bit more, that I would have needed to stop the repossession came in. Do you know how freaking frustrating that was? Every day for 3 months, I was like trying to be able to pay the car, couldn't pay the car, freaking out. I'm freaking out. I can't sleep. I'm not sleeping because I'm so sick to my stomach and I'm so afraid and money's not coming and I'm so afraid of next day. Oh my God, the car's not there. Uh, yeah. The next day. And you know what I've come to learn in my experience when I've gone through, obviously that was a huge fear of mine and it was something I never thought I would experience too. I never understood how people got their car repossessed. How do you just not pay your bill for 3 months? But I didn't realize like being an adult and especially being an entrepreneur and giving it your all and taking insane risks that other people wouldn't. I could have not had my car repossessed and gone the simple, easy, safe route. Like that could have, but I chose a scarier route. Not for everybody, but for me, you know, God made me really strong and able to handle everything and be really resilient. I don't need to learn such intense lessons in such intense ways like that anymore. But I did learn a powerful lesson that day. One, I need to wake up every morning and I need to invite my higher power into my day and ask for that guidance. That was something I wasn't doing when the car got repossessed. And that's something from that day forward, I do every single day, never missed a day. And now I share it with you guys and I share it with especially people in recovery. Ask for your higher power's will because your day is not going to go that well when you don't. The second thing I learned was that I was sick to my stomach that night before, so afraid, so scared. This situation could have gone down differently in so many ways. I could have even moved my car. I could have parked it in a different parking lot. I could have reached out to a friend and parked it at his place. Like I could have done other things, but I didn't. I was doing it all alone and I was afraid and I had so much pride and so much ego. I didn't want to ask my parents to help me. I didn't want to ask my friends to help me. I didn't want to ask my mentor to help me. I didn't want to ask anyone. Nobody knew I was struggling and suffering to pay this and got so behind. I didn't need to do it alone. And I learned my higher power doesn't want me to do it alone. And it's actually better when I ask for help before it gets to that point, because then the people I do have to ask to support me and rescue me and lend to me and all these things that I needed to do to get out of that situation, that put more stress and more harm on them. So we have to let go of our pride. We have to let go of our ego. And I had to learn that being sick to my stomach that night before and not allowing anyone to help me and support me, my higher power did not validate that. Didn't say, you know what, that worked. So when you get in this situation like this and you have another test, do that again. I had to learn, no, if I'm in a similar kind of situation or I'm afraid, I have to trust. I have to be at peace. I have to ask for help. I need to share with somebody what's going on. And knock on wood, that hasn't happened ever again. I learned the powerful lesson. And that's another thing with manifesting. We experience lessons until we learn them. This is why an ex might keep returning. You keep attracting narcissists. You keep attracting avoidance. You keep gaining 30 pounds after you just lost 30 pounds. There's a lesson to learn. The way that we learn lessons, the way that we break patterns is we don't entertain it anymore and we react and behave differently. So if you're used to giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, talking yourself into making it work, staying longer than you know you're supposed to, your job then moving forward is to take a different action step. I can't tell you what that action step is, but you know what it is that you have not been doing or that you need to be doing. And so one of the main reasons, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here, that manifestation maybe has felt like it's not working for you is because you're trying to do it in a way your higher power doesn't want to validate it. You're pushing, forcing, manipulating, striving, stressing, losing sleep, anxious, fearful. You also might be feeling like you're going too big where it's not believable, that you got to try really hard instead of incremental bite-sized pieces. For example, if you were wanting to lose 30 pounds, I would say, great. Keep 30 pounds in the back of your mind, but I want you to focus on 3 pounds. Hit 3 pounds, celebrate it, be grateful for it, then do another 2, then another 3. If you keep doing that, no matter what, you're going to get to your 30 pounds. But what most of us do is we jump from where we're at to the 30 pounds and we do a little bit of progress, but then you put a lot of effort in there and then it feels still so far away that you do nothing. And then you're still at day one. Every year, same thing. New Year's Eve, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds. But what if you did 3 pounds at a time? What if you then trained yourself that when you set a goal, you hit it? What if in a month, you want to make $10,000? Well, in order to make 10, you still got to have $2,000. Why not hit 2 and then maybe another 2 and then maybe you go for 3? We're going to get to the end goal. Like, I think a lot of people were too afraid to AKA play small, but we don't realize, like, you gotta, if you want to climb the top of the ladder, you gotta climb the rings to get to the top of the ladder. To me, it's the same thing with the incremental steps. Some people don't manifest this way. I have some people where they need to quantum leap and they need to triple and double and go big and do that. And that works for them. And they've built enough evidence and enough belief in that. And that is great. In my experience, yet, that hasn't worked. Incremental has worked really well. And I've shared this with a lot of people. I've taught manifesting weight loss and all sorts of things, whatever it is you want to create. But weight loss is an easy one for an example right here. Try the incremental thing out. Focus on the feeling. Next week, we're going to get really clear on what it is that you're wanting to create. We're going to go into the actual manifestation process and finding the one that's unique to you. We're going to also then get into what are the action steps you need to do to easily manifest more money, more love, more whatever the heck it is that you want. So stay tuned. We're only just now getting started. Go ahead and click the show notes below And if you see there's an actual link to register for this, you're going to get the link in your email of this playlist. But there's also a free Facebook component. I wanted to bring us together in a group so that you can share an introduction post. You can share what you're manifesting, what your intention is. If you want to keep it private, that's cool too. But just a space for all of us to come together and to really connect as we are going through this work. So I'd love to see you in the Facebook group and to see you officially register for this. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.